Anny had once believed love could be built from comfort. She was born and raised in South Africa, in a small township where dreams were bigger than the streets she walked on. Growing up, she promised herself one thing: she would never live in poverty forever. So when Karim entered her life, everything changed. He was an Arab world businessman with tailored suits, a deep commanding voice, and money that seemed endless. He arrived in South Africa for investments, but when he saw Anny serving at an upscale restaurant, his eyes never left her. Within months, he showered her with gifts, designer handbags, gold bracelets, expensive perfumes, and promises of a life beyond imagination. When he asked her to marry him, people said she was lucky. And maybe she was. Their mansion stood like a palace on the hills, with marble floors, chandeliers that glittered like stars, and servants who moved silently through the halls. She had everything money could buy. Everything except peace. Behind closed doors, Karim was a different man. His temper was like thunder. If dinner was too cold, he shouted. If she questioned where he had been, he smashed glasses against the wall. If she cried, he mocked her tears. Anny learned to smile in public and stay silent in private. Yet there was one thing that confused her heart. Whenever Karim was gentle, whenever he held her close after his storms, whenever he kissed away the pain he caused, she remembered why leaving felt impossible. He knew exactly how to make her forget the bruises on her soul. He was danger wrapped in silk. One evening, Anny stood by the giant bedroom window, staring at the city lights below. Her reflection in the glass looked like a stranger dressed in diamonds. Karim entered the room behind her. "You look sad," he said calmly. "I'm tired," she whispered. He stepped closer, his voice low. "You have everything a woman could dream of." She turned slowly. "Then why do I feel empty?" His jaw tightened. No one questioned Karim. He gripped her chin, forcing her to meet his eyes. "You belong to me, Anny. Never forget that." Fear rushed through her body, but something new rose beside it: anger. For the first time in years, Anny did not look away. And Karim noticed. A slow, dangerous smile crossed his face. "Good," he murmured. "I like it when you fight." That night, Anny lay awake beside him, staring into darkness. For the first time, she wondered if wealth was worth the prison, and somewhere deep inside her heart, a plan began to form. Days turned into months, and months into years. Anny had mastered the art of pretending. She smiled when guests came over. She wore diamonds when they attended parties. She stood beside Karim like the perfect wife while people envied her life. But inside she was planning her freedom. Without telling anyone, Anny opened a secret bank account. Every time Karim gave her money for shopping, she saved some. Every expensive gift he bought her, she sold quietly through trusted people. Every chance she got, she hid money away like a woman storing oxygen. That account became her hope. At night, when Karim slept beside her, she would stare at the ceiling and calculate how much longer until she could run. Then somehow, he always sensed it. Whenever Anny grew cold and distant, Karim changed. He became soft-spoken. He sent flowers taller than her waist. He kissed her hands in public. He surprised her with a luxury car wrapped in a red ribbon. He booked private vacations where the ocean sparkled like diamonds. For a moment, she would believe maybe he had changed. Maybe this time was different. Maybe the cruel man was gone. And every time she was about to leave, she stayed. But kindness from Karim never lasted. It was always temporary, like sunshine before a storm. The shouting returned. The insults returned. The controlling rules returned. Sometimes he would grab her arm so tightly it bruised. Sometimes he would smash things just to watch her flinch. Sometimes he would apologize afterward and hold her like he was the wounded one. Anny hated how confused love had become. One afternoon, she opened her hidden banking app and stared at the growing amount. Enough to leave. Enough to disappear. Enough to start over. Her heart pounded. This was the moment she had waited for. Then downstairs, she heard Karim call her name. "Anny, come outside." She wiped her tears and went down. Parked in the driveway was a brand new imported car shining under the sun. Servants clapped. Kareem smiled proudly. For my queen. Everyone looked at her with envy. Annie forced a smile. But inside, something terrifying happened. She no longer felt excitement, only emptiness. That night, Kareem reached for her gently and whispered, "You'll never leave me." Annie froze, because she had never told him about the account. And suddenly, for the first time, she wondered how much he really knew. For the first time in years, Kareem began to notice the silence. The mansion was still beautiful. The floors still shined. The servants still moved quietly through the halls. But something had changed. Annie no longer laughed. She no longer argued. She no longer cared. She would sit for hours by the balcony with a glass in her hand, staring into nothing. Some nights she drank wine until sunrise. Other nights she locked herself in the bedroom and slept through the day. At first, Kareem ignored it. He thought it was another phase, another attempt to make him feel guilty, another dramatic mood she would grow out of. But weeks passed, and Annie only became worse. One evening he found her asleep on the couch, an empty bottle on the floor, makeup smeared across her cheeks. Her breathing was slow, heavy, exhausted. Kareem stood there longer than he meant to. She looked fragile, broken, and suddenly something twisted inside him. Fear. He knelt beside her carefully and moved hair from her face. She didn't wake up. He remembered the woman she had been when they first met in the restaurant. Full of fire, sharp eyes, proud smile, walking like life belonged to her. Now she looked like someone fading away. That night Kareem could not sleep. For years he told himself control was love, providing was love, keeping her close was love. But looking at Annie now, he wondered if he had destroyed the very thing he wanted to keep. The next morning, he ordered all alcohol removed from the house. Annie laughed when she noticed. "You think bottles are the problem?" she said bitterly. He ignored the sting in her voice. He hired doctors. She refused to speak to them. He booked a private vacation. She refused to go. He bought diamonds. She left them unopened. Every gift that once kept her now meant nothing, and that terrified him more than losing money ever could. One rainy evening, Kareem entered the bedroom and found her sitting on the floor beside the bed, holding a glass of straight liquor. "Enough," he said softly. She took another sip. "I said enough." She looked up slowly. "Why? Because now it bothers you?" Kareem walked over and took the glass from her hand. She didn't fight him. "That hurt more. I don't want to lose you," he admitted quietly. Annie stared, then laughed, a hollow laugh with no joy in it. "Lose me?" she said. "Kareem, you lost me a long time ago." Her words struck harder than any insult. He stepped back as if slapped. For the first time, Kareem understood something money could not fix. Love cannot be bought after it has been broken. That night, he sat alone in his office while thunder shook the windows. For the first time in his life, the powerful man who controlled everything had no idea what to do. And upstairs, Annie opened another bottle, while planning how to disappear forever. The rain tapped softly against the tall windows of the mansion. Annie sat on the bedroom floor with her back against the bed, a half-empty bottle beside her. Her eyes were tired, distant, carrying years of pain no makeup could hide. The door opened. Kareem walked in. He looked at the bottle, then at her, but said nothing. Slowly he removed his jacket and sat down on the floor beside her. For a moment, neither spoke. Only the sound of rain filled the silence. Then Kareem's voice came low and broken. "I miss you." Annie didn't move. "I miss your smile. I miss hearing you laugh in this house." His throat tightened. "I miss making love to my wife. Not just touching someone who is hurting." Her fingers gripped the bottle tighter. He looked at her with eyes she had never seen before. Eyes without pride, without power. "Please stop this drinking. Please." Come back to me. Something inside Annie exploded. She turned to him with tears already falling. Come back to you? She cried. You pushed me here, Kareem. Her voice shook the room. You broke me with your anger, with your control, with making me feel trapped. She hit his chest with both hands. You did this! Kareem did not stop her. He let her pour out every wound. Then she collapsed into sobs. The sad part, she whispered through tears, I can't even leave. If I go back with nothing, everyone will laugh at me. They'll say I failed. They'll say I chose money and lost everything. Kareem's eyes filled with tears. For the first time, he understood her prison had bars on every side. He reached for her. I'm sorry, he said, voice cracking. For everything. Annie stared at him, shocked to see tears running down the face of the man who once seemed made of stone. Then she broke again. And this time they cried together. No wealth, no pride, no lies. Just two wounded people on a cold floor, holding each other like they were trying to survive the storm. Minutes passed. Then Kareem gently lifted her chin. I don't want fear anymore, he said. I want us. Annie searched his face. For the first time in years, she believed him. Their kiss was soft, uncertain, then full of everything they had buried. Pain, regret, longing, love that had been twisted but never fully died. That night they made love not from control, not from loneliness, but from connection, from truth, from two hearts finally touching, and the fire between them felt new. When morning came, sunlight poured through the curtains. Annie woke in Kareem's arms, peaceful for the first time in years. He was still asleep, holding her. She placed a hand over her stomach without knowing why and smiled. Weeks later, the doctor confirmed it. She was pregnant. Kareem changed completely after that. The shouting stopped. The cruelty vanished. He became gentle, patient, attentive. He went to every appointment, kissed her forehead each morning, and thanked God each night. And Annie? She laughed again. She glowed again. She became the happiest woman in the world.